Tensions are growing on the Diamond Princess, where Australians remain stranded despite the overnight evacuation of some of the 400 Americans on board the luxury cruise liner. Buses began moving people off the ship at the centre of a coronavirus outbreak early this morning. They're being taken to Tokyo Airport, where planes have arrived to fly them to quarantine facilities in California and Texas.
70 new cases of the COVID-19 virus have been confirmed on the ship, with 8 more Australians among those infected. The federal government says it's working on plans to move Australians, but there's been no final decision on how that will happen. One Australian on board told us the lack of information is frustrating.
The last 12 days, we've had very delayed information and we just feel like we're kept in the dark. And all of a sudden now, the talk is because the US citizens are being evacuated, Canadians are being evacuated very soon, we are finding out that we will need to endure a further 14 days of quarantine. I really want to know, why have we been quarantined here? And then now when we go back to our own home soil, we need further quarantine. Does testing and having a negative result mean nothing? Is it because the Australian government doubt Japan's testing ability? You know, those kind of information all passengers should be made aware of. These things are really important things that everybody needs to know, especially the passengers here on board, regardless of what nationality you are, because it is very unknown at the moment.
Vera Kozlova-Fu, one of the increasingly angry Australian passengers on board the Diamond Princess. Let's take you to Canberra now. Our reporter Stephanie Boris joins us from Parliament House. Steph, good morning. So what is the government saying they'll do about Vera and the other Aussies on board?
This morning, the federal government has said it is looking at whether to plan an operation to bring these Australians home that are stranded on the Japanese ship. A decision will be made today. So the process as to what that final decision is, there's an Australian senior medical officer that's been flown to Japan, and he's boarding that ship today to talk with medical and international authorities about what to do next. And if the advice is that there's been a secondary round of infections, which is expected, the government is looking at working with Qantas to bring these Australians back. Now, the next question obviously is whether they will have to be quarantined even further. We've seen Australians evacuated from Wuhan over the past weeks, and they've been placed on Christmas Island. And Federal Health Minister Greg Hunt said Christmas Island and other options are being considered.
Many of these patients or passengers on the ship are very, very elderly and may need to be near major hospital facilities. So we're working through that with different options, and we'll have advice later today. I am deeply aware of the stress, the situation that the passengers have been under. It's likely that, as the Americans have done, they may have to be in a quarantine situation, but more advice coming today, decisions today, announcements today.
So the National Security Committee of Cabinet are waiting for the advice from that senior medical officer now based in Japan, and will make a final decision today. In terms of numbers of how many Australians here in Australia that have contracted coronavirus, it still stands at 15, and 8 now have been cleared of the virus.
Stephanie Boris, thank you. Meanwhile, more than 200 Australians who've been quarantined on Christmas Island are expected to begin returning home tonight. They've spent the past 14 days on the remote territory after being evacuated from Wuhan amid the coronavirus outbreak.